What's up, guys? It's your boy Buff back with another one. Well, my first one actually. Anyway, today I'm talking about Khazan The First Berserker. I'm gonna come straight out and say I love this game. This game is a well-rounded Souls-like, and you would not regret getting and playing this game. There's only 3 different weapon types. You have your spear, your greatsword, and your dual wield. My personal favorite though is the spear, and the reason being is because it's a bit faster than the greatsword and it does a bit more damage than the dual wield. However, the greatsword does the most damage and it also does the most stagger damage, which might be appealing to certain players. However, I don't think it's a match for me. The premise of Khazan is basically trying to drain your enemy's stamina bar. Once their stamina bar hits 0, it opens them up to some brutal attacks. However, if your stamina bar reaches 0, it also opens you up to some brutal attacks. You can drain your enemy's stamina bar by attacking, of course, getting perfect guards or perfect dodges. Also, I forgot to mention that attacking also drains your stamina bar, so you have to approach every battle with a bit of strategy. I think in that regard it closely relates to Sekiro, which is also one of my favorite games, and I guess that's why I love this game so much. The icing on the cake about Khazan's combat though is just how simple and fluid it is. There's no 10,000 different spells that you need to learn. There's no special item that you need to get. You can just jump straight into combat, and this is what I like about games like Khazan. Because when you have so many different choices to make, it can make you feel very overwhelmed. And if you're an overthinker like myself, you're gonna feel overwhelmed. Where like you're gonna be stuck in this, what should I say, paralysis analysis mode, where whatever choice that you make, you're gonna feel as though you could have made a different choice, which would have been a better choice at the time, if that makes sense. Anyway, this game can in fact be frustratingly difficult. Regardless of everything that I said, it can definitely feel frustratingly difficult, and you're gonna feel the consternation. The consternation is gonna feel palpable at times when you're fighting against certain bosses. However, I feel like if you stick with it and you learn the flow of combat, you definitely can overcome any challenge that Khazan throws at you. Also, different spirits that accompany you that can help you in combat. However, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them because I don't feel like they affect combat enough to actually make any significant change. Talk about is Khazan's level designs. By now you should understand that simplicity is the name of the game. There's no minimap. However, because of the simplicity, it's very easy to memorize Khazan's stages and levels. One of the things that I would have loved to see though is a bit more hidden doors and a bit more hidden pathways. However, there's just enough to give you some variety, to feel that Nathan Drake inside of you or that Indiana Jones inside of you, however you look at it. There's not too much that can be said about its level design. However, I don't particularly like it and I don't particularly hate it either. It definitely gives you that Souls-like feeling and it works for its anime art style. It definitely could have given you a bit more though to try and scratch that exploration itch, kind of like how Liza P does it. Anyway, I'm gonna let some of the gameplay run for a bit so you can actually get a better understanding of what I mean when I say that. Moving on, here is a bit more combat footage so you can get a better understanding of combat as well.
General Khazan? Is it really you? General Khazan?
In closing, I like to say, or I like to reiterate just how much I actually like this game. The footage that I'm showing you right now is from my second playthrough, and when I'm finished with that, I'll be doing a third one. There's really no cons to this game. What you see is what you get. And I mean, with every game that comes out, you're always going to feel like the developers could have done more. There could have been more exploration. There could have been more features. There always could be more. And I mean, even in saying that, I'll also say this. One feature that I would have really liked to see is the feature to hide the character's helmet. And it's not because the armor sets are ugly. It's just that the character design is so well put together, there's no need to hide the character's face behind the helmet. And this has been my biased review, and I think more people should be biased. The reason being is because when you give your perspective on things, it helps other people relate to you and relate to the product or the service that you're reviewing. The days of this cut and dry review, here is the product, here is the service, that's what it does. I mean, it really doesn't make you feel connected. If you see the starting corner, I left it there because I'm also promoting the Asus ROG ROG Flow Z13HX395. It's a mouthful. I really don't know why AMD didn't just stick with the name Strix Halo. I mean, it sounds way cooler for their chip, and I really don't understand why they didn't just stick with that name. Anyway, they've they've chosen to change it, uh, for whatever reason. I'll be doing a review on that as well, so catch me for that. That's all I wanted to say about this game. I'll be doing more reviews, showing some more gameplays and stuff like that. So yeah, catch me for that. Anyway, peace out, people.